Vance, if I told you after 2 games you have 8 sacks, leading the conference in that category, would you expect that? I mean, how would you feel about your front 4th pass rush?
Oh, I'm excited about that. Did I expect that at this time in the season? No, I didn't. You know, the guys are playing hard, and that's the key. You give great effort, especially when it's a pass getting to the quarterback, good things can happen for you. And the 8 sacks right now, I'm excited about it, and hopefully going forward that it continues to happen for us.
On your right, Anwar.
Coach, can you just tell us a little bit about the evolution of Malcolm Roach? I mean, for us, he seems like a guy that's come out of nowhere. Can you just talk about the impact that he's been able to have?
He's a coach's son. When he got here on campus this summer, first thing he asked, Coach, where's the playbook? You know, can I go watch video? So he's worked at learning what to do and how to do it. He's taking Coach Haley's teaching to the field. He's a lot like Hager, and I mean from his effort. He gives you great effort all the time. And that's something special that he brings to the table. So what you saw this past weekend, that's who the kid is. He's going to give you everything he has. If he don't know what to do, he's going to go 100 miles an hour. He'll make a play doing that same thing Hager does. So I think the kid's got a bright future for us.
On your left, Danny.
What's kind of been your impression of the first 2 games of Davis Webb, and what do your defensive backs have to do this week to be successful?
I wish Webb was at Colorado like he's supposed to be, not at Cal. So, no, he's an excellent quarterback. He's big. You know, he has an arm. He sees the entire field. He can make all the throws. When you sit there watching video, he's on the hash mark and he throws an outcut to the field, and all you can do is shake your head. That is not supposed to happen. I think the kid's a special talent. I think he brings something special to Cal's offense. So we're going to have our hands full. You know, last week I think they had 103 plays and he threw the ball 78 times. That's a lot of passes. I mean, and for defense, that's a scary situation.
Back right, Joaquin.
Coach, how proud were you of the dominant effort, considering how many of the traditional starters weren't there and how many of the backups put in a good effort?
You know, I told our guys on defense this. You know, versus UTEP, we had a better team. We really did. That's not throwing any bones about that. And we should have done what we did, to be honest. We gave up that one big play that we were disappointed in. We didn't fit the run right. We missed a tackle in the back end. But we were supposed to go out there with our D-line and our linebacker and control the line of scrimmage, and they did that for the most part. So we were excited to see when you were supposed to win, you go out there defensively and you do a solid job.
Your left, Kirk.
Yeah, you've seen a lot of great quarterbacks. Saw a lot last year. Saw one in the first game this year. Where would you stack Webb up with all these great quarterbacks you see?
If Webb was in this conference right now, he probably would be in the top 4. I think if you put him at Texas Tech, TCU, Baylor, Oklahoma, they could win with this guy. I mean, he executes the offense. He can throw the football. He can make the checks. He can get them in the right plays. He does the thing that you need for a quarterback in this system to do. And like I said, he can make all the throws. He has a tendency to look you off and come back to the field. And that's a dangerous situation for defensive backs.
On your left, Mike.
Vince, that group of DBs that you had last year in that freshman class, Deshaun Elliott was talking about that with us yesterday, and that they came in wanting to be the next Michael Huff class, the next Earl Thomas class. Do they have that? I know they're not there yet, but do they have that potential? And what do you think of your young DBs as a group?
The famous word that coaches, they don't like to use is the word potential. Because sometimes a guy could be potential for 4 years. They have a long way to go to even mention those guys' names. You know, Michael Huff, you know, came here, was red-shirted. He had an opportunity to sit, watch, and learn from the guys that were here. So when this time came, he was prepared. This freshman class we had a year ago, they're sophomores right now. They had to come in and play right now. They didn't have a lot of guys to learn from. So they are doing on-the-job training, which sometimes is a good thing, sometimes it isn't. So they have a long way to go before they can mention themselves in the names of Huff and Ross and all those guys. So I'm still waiting to see for these guys to be consistent because they haven't been consistent this year.
Is it a good test for that?
It's definitely going to be a good test for that as far as tackling an open field, as far as covering, getting off of blocks, trying to stop screen plays. We're going to find out how much development we've had in a very short time.
Coach, can you center that mic up on yourself a little bit? Thank you.
Other question? Anwar on the right.
And you talked a little bit about your DBs, and I've noticed a lot of Holton Hill so far. Is it that an injury thing with him, or is he just falling behind a little bit?
You know, it's a combination of a lot of things. You know, the first game, you know, Chris Boyd didn't get in there except for special teams. So guys have a hot hand. We're trying to develop guys, rotate guys in there, and that's part of what you're seeing right now. So we steady moving the guys around, trying to find the right fit. And the biggest thing you're trying to find with young guys, make them compete. You need to earn your way. And going back, to, Mike, to what you said, I mean, these freshmen a year ago came in here and they walked around and they played, and all of a sudden people saying, man, you guys doing a great job. They were inconsistent last year. You saw flashes. So our thing right now is that if you don't come to practice every day and practice hard, or you have opportunity to get in the game and you don't do what you're supposed to do, it's a good chance you're not going to hit that football field. And that's just what we are with a lot of those guys right now. And it's like Chris Boyd didn't play a lot in the first ball game, and that's part of it. So we're going to challenge these guys all the time to do things right all the time, to be consistent in practice, and to go do in the game.
On your left, Kirk.
How many DBs do you think you'll play in this game?
If they make the trip, they all going to have to play. I read an article about Arizona State and Texas Tech. They said their defensive backs ran a total of 4 miles in that game. The score was 68 to 55, I believe. And when you play these type of offenses, if you think you're going to go out there and play one set of defensive backs, you're in trouble. Because in the fourth quarter, they will have no legs to keep up with these guys. So we have tried to rotate guys in, and as Anwar said, just play a lot of guys because of competition and try to keep them fresh as we possibly can.
So 10, 12?
But if we traveling 12, all 12 of them will play.
On the right, Taylor.
Coach, what players on your defense have either met or exceeded your expectations at this point in the season?
None of them. It's none of them.
Is it because your expectations are that high for them? Or is it?
We went to the University of Texas, and the expectations are to go out there and play great defense and to win ball games. So we haven't met those expectations. We're sitting at 2-0 because our offense has done a tremendous job. And right now, our punter right now has done not a good job. He's done a great job. And when you have a punter that can pin them back like he's pinned them back, and the offense can score points, you should be sitting at 2-0. So we have a long way to go. So right now we have a lot of guys, as far as the defensive staff is concerned, we have not met the expectations we need to make to continue to do what we're doing, and that's to win ball games.
Your left, Jeff.
Vance, as a pressure team, when you're facing an offense that gets the ball out as quick as they do with the type of spacing they have, how tough is it to blitz as much as you want to and run the risk of getting caught in no man's land and guys getting caught in the wrong position?
You know, when you're a pressure team like we are, you continue to pressure. You hope you can confuse the quarterback, give a pressure look, and then drop out and play zone. Give a soft look and bring pressure. You're trying to get him to maybe throw you a ball. And they're going to hit some plays, and that's the thing about it. I mean, I've looked at most of the games from last season, and they moved the ball on everyone from UCLA, USC, Utah. They moved the ball. And the thing that got them in trouble when they turned the ball over. You know, if they would have cut down on their turnovers, they probably would have won 3 or 4 more ball games easily. And the thing about it, they got pressured by those teams. They had people drop the zone, and the quarterback made some bad throws. So when you're playing this type of offense, you need to help the quarterback make some mistakes. You know, if you can't, it could be a long day for the defense.
On your left, Mike.
Thanks. Dylan Haynes has had his head problem, obviously. If he does come back, does he get his starting jobs back, or are people pushing him for playing time then?
Well, he is back. He's healthy. He's ready to go. So we're going to rotate those guys in there. He will probably start the game for us, so he'll definitely be out there playing.
How about the guys behind him? Are they pushing those starting safeties?
Well, you know, from one of the articles somebody in this room wrote is, you know, Coach Jennings said early on in camp that the 2 starting safeties were head and shoulders above everyone else. And that was a great motivator for those young guys. So they've been motivated to get more playing time right now.
On the right, Anwar.
Coach, some of your defensive players said that this last week was the first time they kind of did a 3-3-5 type of defense. Can you just talk about your thought process and how effective you thought that was for you guys?
It was an opportunity to really get 5 defensive linemen out there. So it was a 3-3-5 and it wasn't. So you look at Hager, you look at Roach, You know, they were playing with an outside backer, and we brought Hager 25 times. And I think we dropped him 7 times. So we knew if he was out there, he was going to go hit somebody. And we were concerned in pass coverage, to be honest. So it was more of a 3-4 look than a 3-3-5 look. Because a lot of times you saw him on the line of scrimmage because of the type of offense they ran. They were 21 personnel, 22 personnel. It was a way of getting bigger, more physical guys on the football field.
Left, Brian.
Vance, following up on Hager, how much, when you look at the older guys, you look at Nashon and Amenahu to a degree, I mean, are Roach and Hager getting a shot because, hey, somebody's got to get out there and get results?
Well, Amenahu plays a different position than both those guys. Roach, Hager, they go with Nashon. In certain situations, we don't go to a speed package as far as pass rush. So you can see more athletic guys like Hager and Roach and Nashon, where they could be playing a 3 technique or a defensive end and give us some pressure to run one-on-one. We need to find ways to get pressure with our down guys sometimes more than blitzing. And those guys have that attitude. You see Roach getting a stance. I mean, it's like he's so low on the ground because he said, I'm finna go get this quarterback. It's a mindset. And if we can get him to get a quarterback to step up in the way Boyette and Puna and Chris Nelson are playing in the middle as far as pushing the pocket, we can get a lot of benefits out of that.
Left, Jeff.
Vance, staying with the front four, with you and Coach Haley in practices, how much do you have to stress things like if you can't get there, get your hands up, try to get an arm in a passing lane, maybe try to close those windows, just make it more difficult for them, just honing in on those little things?
That will be really big this week. The ball comes out quick. There's a lot of quick 3-step, quick 5-step drop, and it's hard to get to a quarterback because the ball is out so fast. It's going to be very important that we get our hands up and try to get some tip balls. If we can get that done, get them behind the sticks, it'll be an advantage for us.
Left, Kurt.
Yeah, Cal lost his 6 top receivers last year. Chad Hansen was number 7. He's already got 28 catches. How would you evaluate their whole receiving corps?
Well, I tell you what, my man Hansen, I think, is his go-to guy right now. And the first 2 ball games, when the games is tight, a third down situation, somehow they find a way to get the ball into his hands. You get in the red zone, you see fades. He's made some outstanding catches this year. As a group, because they spread the ball around so well, and they just don't just have one big guy they want to throw to, it's difficult. You have to defend everyone all the time because the quarterback Webb, he spreads the wealth around to all the receivers. But right now, Hansen, in my opinion, is that go-to guy. If it's come crunch time, we need to know where he is. We need to take him out of the ball game.
You double him?
We really don't right now. In certain situations, we run combination coverages where we have in and outs, or we play 2 high men underneath to take some things away. But right now, we just need to confuse the quarterback with different looks and try to get pressure on him as much as we can.
Your left, Roger.
Coach, last year you got the #1 pick in the draft playing quarterback, but it was a run game that hit you guys, assuming they're probably going to at least try to run the ball a little bit Saturday.
Well, some of the things that's coming out of Berkeley right now is that they have 3 really good running backs, which they do, and they want to run the ball a little bit more, trying to balance their offense. So we are expecting them to run the football a little bit more. And so we've been working on trying to stop the run. At the end of the day, if you can't stop the run, they can throw the ball 7, 8 times all they want to. You're in trouble. But also stopping the run is this. If they throw a hitch out there, and people call it yak yard, or yards after a catch, and he run up, catch a 5-yard route and go 50 yards, that's still a run. And so we have to do a great job at tackling, whether it's a true handoff running play or if it's a hitch. If we do those things and tackle well in space, we can get to the 4th quarter. And with our offense right now in the 4th quarter, I have a lot of confidence in our offense.
Your right, Anwar.
Coach, you obviously have some talented freshmen at defensive tackle, but obviously Chris Nelson's been playing well. How close are some of those guys to maybe getting into the mix for some playing time?
Jordan Elliott has played in the first 2 ball games to give us some time. Christmas has played some of the last ball game to give us some time. Those are the 2 guys right now that probably has the biggest push. And Wilborn has played in both games. Those guys got to give us somewhere between 10 and 15 plays every game to take some hits off of Puna and Chris Nelson and Boyette and Amenahu. So we rotate those guys in as the season goes on. They will play more and more. You just need those guys to get through a season.
To your right, Joe.
Coach, does it ever concern you to see Elliott and Wilbon and Christmas all out there at the same time?
Yes, it does. I'd be scared to death. It gives me sleepless nights when I see all three of those guys walk out there at the same time because I have no idea what they're going to do. You know, I'm in practice with them all the time. I look at those guys and I say, hey, go to Three Stooges. We're in trouble right now. You know, but the thing about it, they're big, they're talented, and you have to put them out there to play in order for them to get better. And we've seen progress from those guys, and they have a long way to go yet, but they're taking, you know, positive steps right now.
All good? Thanks, Coach.
I appreciate it. Everyone have a great day.